Hello, everybody. Sean with Get Out Live Now. I wanted to go over a couple things today. I finally got down to the boulevard there where the Dumaguete sign is. It looks real nice that they've redone it. I guess they're all finished with it. It looks nice on the boulevard down there. I wanted to go over some things today of like if you're going to be moving overseas to like Philippines or other places, you want to get your money squared away. So far, when I first got here, what I did for myself, I already had a telephone plan, which basically runs off of T-Mobile network. I've had that since, I believe, 2018. And their unlimited plan's about $25. You get up to 50 gigs, unlimited calling and text messages, and you get 50 gigs of data. They started at like 25, then you went to 30, then you went to 35, now it's up to 50. But coming overseas, all you have to do is use your Wi-Fi. So you have your Tello plan, and what you want to do is you can just do the unlimited text and calling because you're going to do it on Wi-Fi, and you're just going to hit the $5 plan, and that's all you need. You don't need any data. What you're going to do, you're going to use Wi-Fi when you get overseas, but you want to set this up. You are going to need to put a minimum like $20 on your international roaming plan once you get to the Philippines, and that'll take care of anything that you need to do to get your OTP codes here. The only OTP code that I couldn't get was from Facebook, and I guess it says because they use a shorter 5-digit code or something like that. But all the bank codes I got, all the payout codes I got, so everything's working perfect with Tello on my home phone from the United States. And like I said, it's only going to cost $5. You just put $20 roaming. You're never going to really use it. And you just click on the Wi-Fi. And you do that before you come overseas. Make sure everything's set up. I have a VPN, but it says to do it before you go overseas. And that's really all you need to do. Now, I also have a Google Voice number, which I have had since Google Voice came out in 2010. In 2010, it was free. It's still free. You set up a Gmail, and you want to do that back in the United States, or I think you can do it in Canada too. You want to do it while you're back there. I don't know if the VPN will work for you once you get over here, but I've had that set up for over 15 years now. And when I used to come to the Philippines, it's like talking to somebody next door. I called my brother, I believe yesterday, and it was like, I go, how does it sound? And he goes, it's great because you're using Wi-Fi. And that's another way. Also, when you put like your telephone, your home phone, for all your OTP codes for your two-factor authentication for your banks and your financial institutions, also set up a Google Voice number as your backup number to get those codes. So I can get it either way. And almost every bank, the Google Voice, it now pretty much works. They didn't used to work so good, but now I don't have any problems as like the backup. Sometimes I get the Google Voice, when you're setting up like Plaid, if you're adding bank accounts or stuff like that to send to or pull from. It works great. So those two you want to have. You want to have your home phone from your country, and you want to set up a Google Voice if you're from America or like Canada. You want to set that up because you can call for free. You just use Wi-Fi. Now the payment apps you want to set up, one of them would be to set up a Schwab stock account. And once you do that, then you can set up a Schwab checking account. And with that checking account, they're going to make sure they have them issue you a Schwab debit card that goes along with that particular checking account and the stock account. And what you do, you put money into the Schwab checking account, and that ATM card you're going to be able to use overseas. You can use it domestically or internationally. And any fees when you use the ATM, they're going to charge you the fees initially, and then at the end of your pay period, your monthly billing cycle, they're going to credit all those fees back to you. So you're not going to pay any fees. That's a really good way. But I've heard that the ATMs have been eating the Schwab cards sometimes. Some people have good luck. I would say use an ATM in one of the banks like BDO, BPI. Make sure you're kind of inside the bank so they're open. So if they eat your card, you want to let them know, and maybe they can get that back for you, because you're going, I don't know who runs their ATMs. It's probably outsourced, or through their bank. It's probably a completely different department, and they're going to have to contact people, and I don't know how long it's going to take. Some people said they never get their card back, but maybe they're not using the ATM inside the bank. This is the most secure, and that's the most easiest way I can think of to not only get your money, but if your card gets eaten, that way you can tell them, hey, my card get eaten, can I get it back? I don't know, my card's never been eaten before, but the Schwab card works great out here. The remitting apps that you want to set up are Wise, Remitly, I got a list here, World Remit, Panda Remit, and then once you get here, once you get your mobile number set up, and I would suggest getting a Globe postpaid SIM card, and you have to pay 3 months in advance, and that way your number always stays with you no matter whether you lose your phone gets damaged, lost, stolen, whatever, and you can get that number back, because that's going to be attached. You want to set up your Gcash account. Now, I've had trouble setting up my Gcash account, not setting it up as in downloading it and entering my information, but when it comes to verifying you, the KYC, know your customer, it asked me to take a picture, and I did. Then when it asked me to fill out all the information so I could send up to 100,000 pesos at your max, it wanted to take a picture of my passport, and every time it does that, it just says doesn't match the photo. Well, yeah, because my passport photo is 6 years old, and I believe even my hair may have been dyed kind of blonde back then before I went totally gray. I don't know, but it just probably doesn't look like me, so I guess I'm going to have to wait till I get Filipino international license, where it transfers over to the international license, and that's at least 120 days from what I found out from the LTO. They told me to come back in 120 days and start the process. Or I found out from another expat that if you wait 6 months, been here 6 months, you can actually apply for a regular Filipino license. So you can also do that from what he said, and he showed me his license, so he does have one. So you're going to want to set up Gcash, PayMaya, and Moretta Pay. So you set up those three. Now the Moretta Pay and the PayMaya, I set those up fine. I've transferred money in those to accounts. I used the Remitly app. Wise app gets me a little problem, but I used Remitly to send money to my PayMaya and I believe the Moretta Pay. Then I used Wise to send money just to try it out. So I've only used Remitly and Wise. I used Wise to send money to an M. Mueller, one of the places where you pick up the money remittal services. And it's actually, I asked the girl at the desk, I said, hey, where's the M. Mueller at, where I can pick up money? Now, I don't have to pick it up for either 30, 60, or 90 days. They'll hold it. I have the confirmation number, so all I have to do is take that with me, have my ID that has my name, I send it to myself, and they'll go ahead and issue the pesos to you. Now, I don't want to use it because I don't want to have money in my room, so I'll use that later on when I need to pay rent as soon as I find a place, which I'm actively looking for now. But I set myself like $1,000 and it's on there, so I can pick it up at any time, and it's just around the corner. I couldn't believe it. I didn't even see it there. I didn't even know, but I know M. Mueller is the best or the easiest to pick up from what I've heard from others. And so you want to have all those services. You want to make sure you set up the Tello. I suggest getting a Tello plan before you leave. If you're paying $80 for your phone number, you're just wasting money, because all you need is a $5 Tello plan over here. Use your Wi-Fi. Get $20 extra on the international roaming just in case you need to use it when you're not using Wi-Fi to get your OTP codes. And that's all you need. And then you get a Globe number here or a smart number here, and you use that to set up your Gcash, Moretta Pay, PayMaya. Use that number for your Gcash and all that. Actually, I was able to see Goldfinger today, spent several hours with him. I walked about 6 kilometers today, going down to the boulevard, went in Bo's Coffee, had a coffee, ended up talking to a gentleman from Australia for several hours, really nice guy who knows about Thailand. He really goes to Thailand. He still works a government job in Australia, has a really good job. And but he said about another 6 months or so, he's probably going to decide to just retire and move overseas. He was about 62. But this is his first trip. He's only been in Dumaguete for 2 days. This is his first trip to the Philippines. So he's kind of tripped out. He goes, wow, everybody speaks English. This is great. I said, yeah. It's pretty good, even if it's broken English. Sometimes you understand them and they understand you. One of the apps that I've been using from Geo, who was recommended by Geo on the Go, says download the Maps.me app, and that is like an offline map. Once you download it, they'll download some maps wherever you're at. You get like 10 free downloads of centrally located maps where you're at, and then I think you have to pay. But those have helped me tremendously with the trike drivers. I would just show them, hey, this is where I want to go, and I would blow it up for them. They go, oh yeah, you're at that? Okay, got it. So they would just take me, so it really helps out. Especially if you don't have any data or service, you don't even have to turn it on. If you want to save it, you can just use an offline map like Maps.me, and it's perfect for you. So I was out walking today and talked to the Australian gentleman, had a nice conversation, drank our coffee, and then we parted ways, and I wish him the best, and I may see him around. I hope he comes back. He was a nice guy, and I got a lot of information from him about what's going on in Thailand, how it works and everything. And then I was off. I went by the Why Not. I haven't seen the Why Not where people hang out, I just want to know where places are. When you walk, you really get to see places. You're like in slow motion. If I was on a bike, I would just pass right by it, not even know where it was at unless I had it mapped out and actually looking for it. So on my way walking, I ran into another laundry facility, and it's the cheapest laundry facility here in Dumaguete that I've seen. It's 140 pesos per 8 kilogram load. For each kilogram load, but that's if you come in and do it yourself. But if they do it for you, it's still only 170 pesos per 8 kilogram load. And I'm thinking wow, that's very reasonable. That's as cheap as I've seen. So then I was on another kilometers. I said I'll just walk it out to a Goldfinger. I called him yesterday, let him know I was probably going to come over. He goes, great. I told him who I was, who my channel was, and I've been watching his channel. He goes, great, just come out and see me. So I went out there and seen him. You ring the bell, they let you in the gate, and then he let me in the house, and then we just chatted for a couple hours. And then I wanted to just rent the just the Click 125, but apparently it needed a little work on the steering. So in a couple days, I ended up renting the NMAX 155, which it's really nice, but it's so high tech and it's got so many things on there, bells and whistles. Like I had to figure out even how to use it. He had to show me, and then he had problems, and we're like, it's just too much for me. I did rent that, and he said if you bring that back within a couple days or after the Click 125 gets fixed, he'll just charge me it's 9,000 pesos for the Click 125. So he said that's all I paid today, and then if I kept the NMAX 155, I would just owe him another 3,500 pesos, which for a total of 12,500 pesos for the month. I rent it for the month because I want to go find a place. So I'm going to have to be scouting out, and I want to start driving around and looking for places, because in Facebook Marketplace so far, no luck for me. And I know Chad Foster just found a great place for about 19,000 pesos a month, and he's right on the beach. Came furnished, and it's like brand new. I'm like, wow, I would love to have a place like that. A little bit out of my budget. Yes, can I afford it? But I really don't want to pay that much. I only want to pay about 12,000. I'm cheap, so I want to just keep my costs down because I don't want to get out of control spending the pesos. I want to try to keep everything under 1,000. If I can do that, okay, pat on your back, and now you can move forward if you want to bump it up to 11, 12, 1,500 a month or whatever it takes. I'm fine. So that's pretty much it. Rented the cycle, brought it home, and then I had to text him, hey, how do you lock the steering column? So he texted me, he goes, yeah, I think it's like this, and then crank it to the left and turn it all the way to the left, because it's keyless. So you have to have the keyless next to it, and then you can do the switch. So I knew where the lights come on automatically. Turn signals are easy, horns easy. You turn it a certain way. You got the gas cap where it lifts up. And then you got the seat, and then it's always got a trunk on it, so storage case. So real nice. I mean, I recommend going to Goldfinger. That's probably the only place I would go. I did want an XRM 125, and I did check out a place. I won't mention them. Not that I'm going to give them a bad review, but they did have them. They were only $7,500 a month, which would have been perfect, but they didn't want a copy of my license. They actually wanted an ID to keep. And I said, you sure you don't want a copy? He goes, yeah, kind of a copy, but we keep the ID. And I'm thinking Either we're miscommunicating or they want an actual ID, and there's no way I'm leaving my ID with anybody. You know, you can have a copy of it, passport, whatever. Everybody else has got a copy of it. All these apps have a copy of it now, so it's not like you're going to have any privacy. But you're not getting my actual ID. There's no way in hell I'm doing that. So I just walked on, you know, another 3 kilometers to 2 or 3 kilometers to Goldfinger, and got my bike today, got my scooter, and it was nice driving. I drove home. It was dark. You know, had my glasses on, and like I just took my time. It was so nice just driving in and out of traffic. You know, I'm so used to that when I used to drive here like years and years ago. It doesn't even faze me. Like all this traffic going all this way, left, right, no stop sign, no stoplights. It's like I'm back home again. So, anyways, that's just the stuff that I wanted to go over. If you're coming here, you just need to do those things. Really set yourself up right. Because when I didn't get the first Facebook code, I was trying to change my number or something or email, and it wouldn't let me. I'm thinking like, oh my gosh. I haven't even checked to see if I'm getting my OTP codes from the bank. I'm like, oh man, if I don't get those, I'm screwed, blued and tattooed. So, but I did. It took about a minute or two to get my first code though, because they're transferring through signals, so it takes at least a minute. And then after a while, they start coming through a little bit faster. So haven't had any issues with that. So get a telephone plan. It's under T-Mobile, but Tello's so much cheaper, $5. Put $20 on the international roaming plan. Just add that on there. You can do that with Tello before you come here, and then just get a Globe number. Get a postpaid plan. You're going to pay like 599 pesos a month. You have to pay 3 months in advance, 1,800 pesos for 3 months. And then you just make sure you pay that bill. Never let that bill expire. Otherwise, the number expires with it. So you got to pay the bill. You got to keep the bill up. So it's about what, 15 bucks a month for both countries. I mean, how cheap is that? That is cheap. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys are having a good night, and over and out.